Welcome to Real Chat with Kat, the podcast that's all about real conversations for real transformation. I'm your host, Kat Pulcinelli, professional speaker, MC, and best-selling international author. Here, we tackle the tough stuff, the mud that we all have found ourselves in. We talk about the pivots, the challenges, and the victories that shape our lives and our businesses. From overcoming trauma and finding your voice to navigating life's unexpected twists, we get raw, honest, and open. You'll hear from inspiring guests who share their stories of resilience, healing, and growth. Whether it's breaking through emotional abuse, embracing self-worth, or thriving in entrepreneurship, you'll find connection, empowerment, and the tools to keep you moving forward. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and get ready for stories that hit home and conversations that make a difference. Let's get real together. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining me today on this episode of Real Chat with Kat. I am so excited to have you here with us today, and I have a really special guest. I am so excited to bring Kurt to the audience. You know, we talk a lot about pivots and failures and where it's kind of led you in the direction of your life. And not only do we have someone that really is doing some great things in the world, but I think has a really great story. And I'm excited, Kurt, to dive into all the things that you are doing outside of your company with some of the other projects you've got going on. So thank you so much for joining the podcast today.
Well, thank you for having us. We enjoy this.
Absolutely. So, Kurt, I know I'm going to kind of let you take it away and tell everybody who you are and what it is you do, but boy, do I got some questions for you as we get started.
Okay, well, I'm Kurt Avery. I'm the owner and founder of Sawyer Products. Just an old country boy that ended up with a pretty cool company. Had a good, fortunate education, had a good corporate career, and said, "Oh, you know what? Let's just go do this by ourselves." So, being as smart as I am, we lost money 23 out of the first 25 years. So we just
Oh, no.
struggled, and then we became an overnight success with some of our products. But we had to grind it out. But really, what made us successful was social media. Once we got to where I did big time marketing and advertising, and I forgot to switch to guerrilla marketing. So we kind of blew through the money real quick. And then we just had to dig ourselves out. But what really set us off was the influencers could talk about, because we've always had the single best products on the market. We won't sell anything that's not the best thing out there. And finally, when the users came along and the internet became big, we just went like a rocket, because they have to talk about the good stuff or they have no creds. So that's what really launched us. And obviously, we're very successful now. We have a very good, big presence in the retail camping industry. We're like kind of insect repellents are number one, number two at Amazon during
Oh,
the
interesting.
season. We're in Walmart, wherever we have hiking, camping departments, we're there with something. I mean, so our product line. And so we did well. And then the real we knew we had the products. We have a water filter that you cannot get sick if you go through it. And we're the only ones that can make that claim, because we're so our holes are so small that nothing gets through there that can make you sick. Nobody else is
Okay.
able to match that. And secondly, we never wear out. You just keep cleaning it. We're the only ones that you can just clean, clean, clean. So we have filters now that are their
Interesting.
16th year. They've celebrated their 16th year in Honduras,
Wow.
and they're still working every day. And then we brought out a brand new one, which really just came down the line, product line, production line, maybe 3 weeks ago. And now for 30 cents, you can give somebody 10 years of clean water. Just one-time investment of 30 cents, somebody gets 10 years of water. So that's kind of really, we're just about to break up to the next level. And, if you have that, how do you not do it? So being privately held, I don't have to make money. Nobody tells me I have to make money. So I don't, I try not to make money. I mean, how absurd is that? So we're able to give away quite a bit of it. We're profitable, but we have the very thing. I liken it to, if we made cupcakes, we'd have to sell the cupcakes, make the profit, pay the taxes, and then have some money to give away. but we don't make cupcakes. We make the water filter, and that's what people need. So who said I can't just give it away, take the loss on it, and not
Hmm.
pay taxes? So we feel we can do a better job of distributing our technology than the government can tax it and decide what to do with it. So we're in a very, very fortunate position to be able to do that.
I love that. And I love that you're still privately owned, which is interesting, right? Because I hear a lot of people talk about how they do have so much more control over what it is that they're doing with their company, with their products and things like that, right? And so you get to have the things the way you want it, the way that you know that it's going to best help people. And I want to make sure that the audience is aware of this as well. So Sawyer Products, just so that everybody knows, does a few different things. Don't worry, we'll pick the information in the show notes, but things like water filtration, insect repellent, sunscreen, first aid, right? So in the camping, hiking community, I've seen some of the ambassadors that you have on your website that I know do a lot of hiking. I am really curious though, when it comes to water filtration, because I know there's a lot of products out there and there's a lot of people that talk about it, if you get stuck and that's the survival thing. How do you use a filtration without it going bad? I always think of carbon, I think is one of
Right.
the things I know a lot of people run things through when it comes through filtration. But I love this, you've got one going on 16 years still being used.
Right. Well, carbon is taste. So I don't know. We got it from kidney dialysis. If you can clean blood, you can clean water. So I don't know if you
Oh,
have some of you. This is the filter right here, and these are
okay.
actually tiny hoses. So in the lawn and garden business, when you have that hose that you stick out and water squirts out from the middle of the hose, think
Yeah.
of doing the opposite of that. It goes
Okay.
into the hose and then comes out the end. But our holes are so small that nothing that makes you sick will get through it. Viruses can, but they're not in the water. They're airborne and body fluids and stuff like that. But so the largest hole in our hose is zero point 0.1 microns, absolute, meaning nothing bigger than that. Your hair is 17 microns. So think of it, we're
Wow.
170 times smaller than the diameter of your hair is our largest hole. So, and then the other trick to it is our fibers are so strong that you can just keep back flushing them forever. So it ends up in a filter like this. But you just keep sending water back the other way and cleaning it out and cleaning it out. And as long as you stay within our parameters, which we have a shut-off valve, so you can't, just keep cleaning. Every time you clean it, you're 98% new again. So it just keeps going. And like I said, we've helped make 40 million people already now have gotten clean water, many for the first time ever, and sickness is gone within a couple of weeks. We're in some of the biggest slums in Africa, and within 6 months, they're closing medical clinics and consolidating because there's not enough sick people left. So we give them income, we give women save 3 hours a day, we cut down half their use of fossil fuels and trees. Kids can go to school, parents can go to work, they're not buying medicine. Women start businesses because now, for the first time, they have water clean enough to actually do cooking that they can sell. So we've created jobs all over the world for the women. It's just amazing what that little filter can do. So, and it's less than $20. I mean, so just think of something that can do hundreds of thousands of gallons of we don't care if the cow's pooping it. We're going to make it drinkable. I mean, seriously, that's how they sound, but that's some of the water these people are drinking.
That is true. That is very true. Yeah. We're
So,
so privileged over here that we don't think about the things that other people do go through in those countries, right? I know that you also have a project in Honduras, Fiji, a couple of other places. I saw that you said had some disaster reliefs and things like that. What have you noticed, when you are over in those countries that you feel like we do take for granted? Obviously, water, clean water is going to be one of them.
well, the other side of it too. So this one slum that we've really totally cleaned up, 400, it's outside in Nairobi. It's called Kibera. 400,000 people, 76 toilets.
Wow.
Okay, so now you can see where the problem is. That they don't have a place to get rid of anything, and those are paid toilets, by the way, so good luck with that. So, yeah, it's the whole thing. you have to go in and do behavior change. By the way, we're in 80 countries with 140 different charities. So we're everywhere. We're in North Korea, we're in Yemen, we're in Iran, we've been in Gaza for a long time. So many, wherever there's a water problem, we'll be there. And every hurricane or earthquake, we're there. Samaritan's Purse, if you might be familiar with that name, they keep two plane loads of Sawyer filters. So the first plane in is the medical equipment, then the next planes in are water filters, because everybody has to have water. So if there's
Yeah.
a hurricane, you just drink the water that's sitting at your feet, you know. So same thing with Puerto Rico after they had the double hurricane. I think at least a third of Puerto Ricans were drinking our filters on day 2 to 5. We got there.
Wow.
You can take a duffel bag and take one duffel bag and take care of 20, 30,000 people easily. So we're there. You can't. We mentioned earlier Helene. We did 100,000 filters into North Carolina and Tennessee. And we got there on day 2. We had people fly them in. We had the hikers take them up where the vehicles couldn't get and the helicopters couldn't get. So if anywhere in the world where there's a hurricane, we will be there by day 2. So um, so yeah, it's absolutely life changing. Um,
I can't thank you enough. I mean, one for doing what it is that you do, and I think that um it's phenomenal to see that your heart lies in being able to help people, right? And that's where you're leaning in toward, where you do see some people where the money does become more of the space that they focus on, right? What was when you decided to create this company? How did this idea even become about, right? Like you're just sitting on your couch one day and you're like, this is it. Like how do you come up with I want to create a water filtration system?
well, we we're in the camping world, so we started out that way. And when I left
Okay.
corporate world, started it, we had the extractor, which is still in Walmart 42 years later, sucking out venom from a snake bite. And then we did first aid, and then we got into these things. What we did is back before the social media could let us take off, we would sit in the stores. I would sit in an REI store for 12 hours from open to close.
Oh, wow.
And we would say, what can we do? What problems can we solve? And I liken it to you have to think outside the box. And I don't even know where the box is, but Henry Ford said it best. If I asked the people what they wanted, they would have said a faster horse. So no, that you would listen to what their problem was and see if you could have a different solution. And back then they had clunky, very heavy water, ceramic or whatever
Hmm.
filter their water. And it was very tough. And I said, well, what if we had this technology? We went to kidney dialysis and adapted it. So they quit carrying a 3 pound filter and moved to a 3 ounce filter. And it was a big hit. Absolutely. And not only that, but the stores resisted it because, we're selling these things for $100. We make $50 a piece. Well, I'm going to sell ours for 19.95 and you're going to make $10 a piece.
Hmm.
Why would I do that? I said, because you're going to sell a lot more and you can't stop it. It's coming anyways. And you would do. When we got into business, it was 70,000 units a year, nationwide, all brands. It's multi-millions now. So, that's a lot of $10 bills.
Yeah.
So that's the trick is to listen and hear the problem. We did the same thing with insect repellents. Came back.
Hmm.
So then I did sit there and go, you know what? I know the stat that half the world dies of either bad water or mosquito bites. And I said, guy, we got the two solutions. Why don't we do that? Why don't we do that? Right? Well, that's not really me. I'm the small part of the bargain, but that's how we got into it. How do you not? I'll give you an example and why you have to do this. We're in Uganda. Guys in Uganda, he goes there, and after a week, the missionary says, "Why don't you name your kids till they're 3 years old?" He said, "Because we lose so many of them. If they make it to 3, we're pretty sure they're
Mm.
going to live." Goes back, it was a small village, installed 250 filters. Okay, so you're talking about, $500, well, $20 a piece, 250. So worst case, it's 5,000. Goes back a year later and they're naming them all at birth. Haven't lost a baby since the filter showed up. How do you not do it? And they can lose a third of their kids and now none. So how do you not do that? And then
Yeah.
we came across, we also do for the military, the next frontier is malaria. We treat every military uniform in the U.S. and Canadian Army and all NATO are treated with a chemical that repels insect repellents. I mean, you're familiar with stuff you put on the skin, but this you
Yeah.
the clothing. We also do
Hmm.
all skin repellents too, so the military doesn't go anywhere without us. And we do the retreatment. So we've been doing it for years and years and years. You just take a little bottle of concentrate, this little bottle here.
Okay.
Consumer, you stick it in a bag and you fill the bag with water up to here, and then you put the garment in there, and then you soak it, and then you let it dry, and that will keep the baby from getting malaria for 6 months for $1.30.
Wow.
So that's, I mean, this is this one's only came down the production line this week. Um, a university, we're connected with the University of North Carolina in Chapel Hill, where a doctor did the study, went over, tried it out, and published it in New England Journal of Medicine that doing this treatment reduced malaria in babies by 67%, two-thirds. That's huge. And even if you get malaria, you got it affects your cognitive brain. So how simple is that? So I liken it to, they all have treated bed nets. Well, this is like taking the protection of a bed net with you all day long. And now I think we're
Yeah.
treating the moms. Hikers, we saw a lot of it. We're hikers and campers. They do it. They treat their tent, their backpack, their clothes, all that kind of stuff. We've been doing it for the military for some 20 some years. So why not? Why not treat the baby's wrap? The mom's carrying them on
Yeah.
their back. So you just treat.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that literally is less than a month old, but it's going to explode. And it's too cheap not to. So
Yeah.
if you have those, how do you not? How do you not share them?
Yeah. I love that thinking. And okay, so it's we have this concentrate, we put the item in the bag, we let it dry, and then we can use you said up to 6 months. Are you able to wash it in between? Is it like an
Oh
oil
yeah.
that goes into
Yep.
the
Yep.
fibers?
Well, it's just like the ink in your shirt.
Okay.
We bind the chemical. It literally is identical to the colorant. So what deteriorates is sunlight and heavy washing, but they don't wash it hard. They want to, no, it's built to last. In the military, they wash the uniform in a really rugged thing once a week. And it
Mm-hmm.
lasts 26 through these horrendously hard washes and dries. They're going to gentle wash, gentle dry. I'm not sure this won't last a year in this environment. That's what we're going to continuing research to see how long. But
Mm-hmm.
no reason it won't last 6 months. It might last longer.
Yeah.
So we're going to keep finding that out. But we know if the military can get 6 months out of beating the snot out of that uniform, certainly going to last that long here. So
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now there's so many things that I want to unpack here. So we have 10 plus years in relief programs. We have over 140 charities in 80 different countries, which is phenomenal. Plus you're working with the military, plus we're now doing prevention with malaria for babies. What's next, Kurt?
yeah,
Like
other than that, nothing's going on. Uh,
you have a wonderful company. Well, and you also, I know we talked about this at the very beginning. You have a book that you also wrote that has to do with, I'm guessing, is it how you started your company? And
um, I can show you a little picture. It's called Sawyer Think. I had a pretty storied business career. I got my MBA in marketing out of Northwestern Kellogg School of Management. I'm not too bad in the marketing scheme. And so that's how we built Sawyer. We're a marketing company. And so this is 25 tips of how we got to where we are. These are real, this is it. I mean, somebody called it an MBA in 200 pages. I mean, it's everything you need to know to make your business successful. So it's kind of like a checkup, having, taking your business thought process in through a checkup. And I'm a believer in know what you know and know what you don't know. And so this will give you some things to think about to make your business more successful. You know some of them, but you don't know all of them. So you put them all together. I internally I have what I call grasshopper you. You have much to learn grasshopper. So I take this is really my internal class put in writing. And I bring in summer interns, but they're passing them out at schools where they have entrepreneur classes and stuff like that. So There's a lot of good stuff in there, and it's not all me. I've stolen a lot of it along the way. A few of these things I've done myself, like Math Trap, knowing when math matters and when it doesn't matter. So, you don't want
Oh,
your
that's interesting.
yeah, there's certain principles of business wherever you are in the marketplace that you don't have to know things to 4 decimal points to the right of the right of the decimal point. There are axioms that you can quick make decisions. Whether you have 15% market share versus 17 probably doesn't make any difference. So why are you sitting there trying to figure it out? You know what you can do in the marketplace based on where you are positionally. Or I like the other one is you manage a company by the denominator, not the numerator, and that is revolutionary for most people. Think of it,
Okay.
yeah, because a simple example is, let's say you make $100 and it costs you $200 in investment to make 100. You got a 50% return on investment, right?
Mm-hmm.
What if that denominator went from 200 down to 50? Now you're making 100 on a $50 investment. What you got? 400% return on investment. That's what Walmart did. Walmart took and got rid of their denominator by increasing their turns. So profits are not trying to squeeze out higher margins. Profits are come from reducing the investment it took to make those profits.
Okay.
So it's kind of upside down is the way almost everybody thinks. Everybody's trying to think how to get more profit margin. No, it's how do you reduce your investment is what makes it. I have an example in there of a plumber. If a plumber needs, starts a business with $100,000, but now he can do it with 50, he gets to start two businesses instead of just one, stuff like that. So you manage by the
Mm-hmm.
denominator more than the numerator. I have a decision matrix. A lot of times when you're thinking about something, two or three variables just absolutely are dominating your decision. Now,
Absolutely.
I make you go through 10 or 20 other points that also influence, and you'll be surprised how many times the lower things add up to flip your decision. And if it
Hmm.
doesn't, at least what it's always done two things. It's helped you see the future. It's thinking of all the things that could happen. So it's what are the tripwires? What are the unintended consequences that I'm not thinking of? See, I don't believe in unintended consequences. You should have thought of it before they showed up. And that's how you identify them, by forcing yourself to think about more than just the two or three most important things that are stuck in your brain. There are other parts of that decision that you need to flush out. So stuff like that, creative
Okay.
destruction. Every world's changing. Are you 3 to 5 years ahead of everybody else, seeing what's going to happen? I mean, look how fast the internet changes.
Yeah.
Kids are on Instagram one time and now they're on TikTok, and who knows what's coming next. But are you ready and prepared? We're very generational. We don't talk to millennials the same way we talk to Gen Zs, the same way we're getting ready to talk to the alphas as they come into our market. They think differently. We have to communicate differently. We're changing all our messaging and how we do it. It got to be 3, 5 years down the road. And there's
Mm-hmm.
trigger points that you're looking at, laws and technology and just culture. Those things affect changes that you can't stop. Well, don't stop. There's opportunities. Find the opportunity. The opportunities when things are destroyed, and there's opportunities when they're created. Figure it out and be ahead of everybody. So stuff like that is what's in the book.
I love that. Now, you said that you have, this process when you said you have a couple of things in your brain that you said is kind of going back and forth. So is it like a set of questions that every idea has to go through before it kind of gets the check mark that you can move forward with it?
No, well, I give the examples of like picking a college. So yes, I give you what things. I mean, you know what they are if you think about them or ask questions. So like I've done it for marriage counseling, Not that I'm a marriage counselor, but I've made go fill out the matrix. One people decided they weren't going to make it, so they weren't going to get married. Another one said they did, but here was a sticking point. They knew 5, 6 years from now they were going to have a problem dealing with that issue, so they solved it before they got married. So no, I'm not going to tell you what your issues are. I'm just going to tell you they're there and you better figure them out. You think hard enough, you'll come up with at least 10, hopefully 20 things that are going to affect your decision other than the two or three that you just can't get your mind off. I'm going to force you to come up with them. You'll figure them out. Whatever business you're in, you can figure them out. If not, ask somebody, they'll tell you. And then you do it's a little weighted thing. You weight how important that variable is, and then you weight how well each of these possible solutions would be at answering that variable, and you get a score. 1,000 is perfect, but you never get there. 700 is pretty darn good. 800, you'd better do it. And if it's 400, throw that out. So it really fine tunes it. And again, the benefit is it makes you think about what could go wrong that you haven't thought about.
Hmm. Yeah. Speaking of thinking of things that could potentially go wrong, and like you were saying, if it's a 400, throw it out. In your, career of this company that you have built, do you feel like there were pivotal moments or certain things that you just had to be okay with letting go of to
Oh
get
yeah,
to where you're at?
sure. And it's the life cycle of the products too, though. So what's a good idea now might play itself out 3, 4 years from now. It's time to move on. Don't stay attached to the rearview mirror. Always be looking forward. So yeah, oh yeah. Well, trust me, I've made my share of mistakes. But on the whole, if you're on the right path and you dig it out and your strategy is good, you'll get there. There's an old axiom of business that I learned at Northwestern. It said, if you have a choice between two businesses, one business is a great plan, but the people aren't so good. The other one is plan's not quite so good, but these are incredibly good people. You bet on the good people, they'll fix the plan. Okay. But a
Makes
good
sense.
plan that can't be executed because the people aren't any good, it's not worth investing in. So yes, you have to think those things through. So you can fix the problems if you have the skill set to do it.
Hmm. So you feel like really having the right people on your team is part of what kind of got you.
I have such a good team. Yeah, so I'm a delegator, so I have surrounded myself with actually the best of the best. We're very fortunate. We're profitable, so I can compensate them quite well. But think about what we do. If you have skills and you have any kind of compassion at all for solving the world's problems, why would you not want to work at Sawyer? So I get that all the time. We get a lot of people. I would love to work for you. I'd love to work for you. I am so selective. I have nothing but the best people in the industry. Earlier, you're saying about the company. I get offers to people want to buy Sawyer. Once I
Mm,
got one yesterday. I mean, I get 1 or 2 weeks. Somebody wants to buy. We're not for sale because we're not about profits. If a venture group or another company wants, they're going to soak out all the profits. And this thing could be a lot more profitable than we are because we choose not to be. So with that as a playground, how do you not have fun doing what we're doing and making changes? So when you get the stories, I can every day you'll find a story that'll make you cry when you see what we're doing for lives out there. I mean, it's amazing, and I don't know how you couldn't do it.
hmm. No, and I also know on your website you've got I know there's information about all of the different projects that you guys are doing, but I also saw a section on there that said community as well. And that's not just your ambassadors and stuff like that. So is that more of, including people in some of these projects that you're doing? I saw that there was also a Sawyer Foundation where
Correct.
people can donate as well.
Yeah. First of all, as much as I like to think I'm indestructible, I am not. I have built into my will that beginning probably next year, I have to be mentally tested to make sure I don't go wonko, that I'm capable of running the company. But at some point, when they vote me off the island, or I take myself off it, the Sawyer Foundation will own Sawyer. But what the foundation does now, it's a 501(c)(3), and
Okay.
when we do a project, Sawyer can donate the filters, but the foundation can donate the cash. So,
Okay.
and we do everything. Okay. So we follow the biblical model, Judea, Samaria, in outermost parts of the world. So we do stuff locally. We do things with veterans. We like to take them outside because we're outside people. So we know how to take them out canoeing or hiking, or sometimes they have veterans that do projects. So again, we're 80 countries, 140. There's plenty of charities, there's plenty of projects to do. We do
Absolutely.
education. We bring students and we embed students into NGOs, and we take students on sports missions to give them a flavor of what it's like. And out of that, missionaries come. So That's what the foundation does, and it's a 501(c)(3), so there's no overhead for the outside people. Sawyer covers the overhead. It's very small anyways, but every dollar donated to the foundation will go to a charity project, either water or RAPS, malaria. Guaranteed, never, not a dollar will you spend on anything else. That's all covered by Sawyer. So it's a very important tool. So even like when we get big donations, which are not too far away, they can split their thing and we get products and money and whatever. We're really at a flex point. Like I said, the two biggest products we haven't even shipped yet.
Hmm.
They're just like weeks away from being able to, we have filters, but this next generation of filters is staggering. Just stick it on your faucet and everything comes out as clean as fast as you go through your faucet. It's
Oh,
phenomenal.
nice. Okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah. Because that's the other thing, and I was thinking about that earlier. Being able to have fresh water, obviously, when you're out in the woods or anything like that is amazing. And my first thought was, I would love to have that in my house. Unfortunately, there's so many things that I'm learning that are in our water that shouldn't be, right? It's
right.
unfortunate. So,
Well, we do take out the microplastics, which is the one thing that you're getting that you really don't want. We don't do forever chemicals, although we're getting close to being able to sell the forever chemicals because when we go into a major project, we test for forever chemicals to see if they're in the
okay.
water. Most of these places don't have them yet, because they're not screwing
Tell
up.
me really quick, what is considered a forever chemical for anyone that doesn't understand that term?
Okay, well, in Flint, Michigan, it was lead. In Grand
Okay.
Rapids, Michigan, it's PFAS. But overseas, it could be arsenic, which is natural in the water. I mean, that's
Hmm.
we have arsenic everywhere. It could be um, fluoride, it could be heavy metals or anything like that. We have mining down the hill from a mining thing, you're going to find chemicals there, and you can't drink that water. So we go in and we test all that first. If you are drinking the water with forever chemicals, we don't tell you not to because we're just biologically and you're stuck anyways. We try to find solutions to get you into better water, but we won't let you switch from bottled water to this for the savings because why introduce you to forever chemicals?
Yeah.
So we're very conscientious about doing that. We do have some research in play to be able to take some of that out with, like you said, charcoal will take some of that. So they can make their own activated charcoal. We're going to teach them how to make their own. They have coconuts, they have wood. So we want to empower them to take their own chemicals out with stuff they already have, just show them how to do it.
Oh,
So we're very conscientious of that stuff.
okay. I love that. That makes a lot of sense. So let me ask you this then, because I know you have the disaster relief, the Honduras project, the Fiji project, and all of that. Are all of those concentrated around water filtration, or is that also kind of because like I said, I know you're doing the malaria wraps as well, but like in some of the projects that you're doing, what all are you covering outside of water filtration?
Okay, well, by the way, the wraps haven't started yet. That's
Oh,
just like
I know.
that's a month
They're not
old.
out just yet.
That's brand new, yeah. When we go in, you're really changing behavior. So it's called wash. You're doing more. We teach them what to do with their fecal matter, because that's part of the sickness cycle. So, you got to get it
Hmm.
out of your water source. There's ways to handle it. Some of the charities are working with the women in their menstrual cycles and how that affects the health and things like that. Some of them are
Okay.
working in latrines for handicapped people. So it's a whole spectrum. You're solving a lot of problems more than, but water is really the core. That wipes out a lot of it. But you have to change their behavior. But when you do that, just think about women having 3 hours a day more to do something other than boil water for drinking.
Yeah.
That's some serious empowerment. What if the young ladies don't have to walk 2 miles to get water and leave themselves vulnerable because they can use a different source because we can make that local, closer source, all that thing.
Hmm.
You don't need to drill all the wells. Sometimes you do, but many times we can wipe out 80% of the wells are going to break down a year from now anyways. So it's a complete change. And so just to give you an idea how different we are, we're not just a filter. Every filter comes with a QR code. If I can show it to you, there it is, right there, the
Okay.
QR code. So if you have a smartphone and you hit that QR code, you'll go right to our website. We have it's Sawyer backslash help is the thing it'll take you to. We have how to install, how to maintain, how to improve your fecal management, the whole behavioral things right there in 18 languages in a animation.
Oh, wow.
We have WhatsApp capability. So if you want to sign up for the WhatsApp app, you can now we'll send out messages. Did you remember to clean it? Have you did having any problems? They can come back to us. We can answer their questions. Yeah, I got a lot of calcium, so it's clogged. How do I get rid of the clog? And stuff like that. So we're not just giving you a filter, we're giving you a whole behavior change system
Mm-hmm.
centered around the
Yeah.
filter. So
It's a lifestyle change.
absolutely. And it does change lifestyles when you hear the stories that come back. I've seen villages. There was a really cool video now that I saw from Water by Women. They had a village where the kids have never known bad water. They are so healthy. They like they could have been born in the United States. You go into some of the kids are sickly. I mean, they lose a third of their nutrients to parasites. Not if you have clean water, you won't. So
Mm-hmm.
it's an unbelievable change in the strength, health. Come on, they don't have diapers. Okay, so you want to have a kid with diarrhea with no diapers? I mean, that's not fun. So it's just a
Yeah.
massive, massive change.
Now,
Yes.
I know you've been doing this for a really long time. I gotta ask, because I know you said you've heard all these stories. Over the years, are there like one or two that just have like really stuck with you? That is like one of the reasons why you know you continue this mission.
Actually, one of the very first ones cannot get out of my head. Way, way, way back. We're talking 2008, 2009. Just adapting our hiking filters to the systems we have now. We have different ways to use the filter. And the guy got over there and he goes in to meet the grandma to put the filter in the house, and she's just crying and crying. And she said, "We buried my grandson yesterday. If you were here two
Mm,
weeks ago, I'd still have him." And I'm sitting there going, if that doesn't give us a sense of urgency, I don't know what does. So that one, I can't, that's, what's that,
yeah,
15
I got
years old?
chills.
I can't get that out of my head. Yeah, just, I mean, people that have coughed because of dirt and the things for 20 years and now all of a sudden they're normal. I mean, the health change is staggering, just staggering.
Oh,
The
I
adults
am,
they get diarrhea once a month. How would you like to live with diarrhea once a month and then never have it again?
yeah. The things
That,
that we take for granted, right?
yeah. They would love
Like,
to have the water we wash our cars and water our lawns with.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we really are spoiled to say the least. And I for anybody that's listening, I really hope that there's a moment in these stories where you sit back and think about how blessed you are, right? I'm not saying that your world is perfect. I'm not saying that you aren't going through things. I'm not saying that life might suck to a degree of the things that you're struggling with. And we are so blessed with what we do have and the opportunities that we have here, and we have people like Kurt who are now bringing those opportunities to places around the world. But I feel like it's very different when you see what it is that people struggle with, right? I can hear stories all day, but there's something about seeing the difference that it makes or living through something to be able to say, like, this is the reason why.
Oh, you want heartbreak? Talk to the mom who just lost their 3-month-old. I mean, that's as rough as it gets. But
Hmm.
by the way, we take people over there, and anybody wants to go. We have 140 charities. If you want to go see something, we'll connect you, and you can go over there. So it clean water is right up there with everything. It's up there with vaccines. It's up there with I don't know what. I mean, how is it not one of the most medically advanced things? Now we've done 40 million people. We are now to the stage with funding because we can only do what we can do, and we do quite a bit. We give away quite a bit each year, but we can do 40 million people a year now. I have the capacity to make enough filters that only sell for 15 to $20 that will last a lifetime and can serve 200 gallons a day. With funding, we're capable of doing 40, 50 million people a year, every year. Take water out of play worldwide within 10 years.
That's crazy.
It's crazy, absolutely crazy.
Did you ever see yourself being in this space, when you first were developing?
Yeah, unfortunately, I did. I'm just that way. I am just, I have a very, very big God. I mean, from microbiology to universe and all that stuff, and we can talk about all these things, but I don't care. You watch a little ant crawl in an oak tree grow. I'm just a nothing, okay? I'm nothing. And yeah, if he wants to do it through us, I'm in.
I love it. I love that the sky is the limit for you, right?
And not even the sky, the whole stinking universe is a limit. So how do you not? First of all, you only got one life, right? So what? I have in the book what I call the rocking chair theory. Do not get to your rocking chair with the cat on your lap and an iced tea over here and say, I wish I did. I could have done that. I sure wish I'd do it. And my favorite line is, why not? Why not? Do it.
It can be that simple.
It can be that simple. I do say make sure your business makes sense. Don't go out and do something crazy. But if you have a solid plan, why not?
Yeah.
And it's not doing it on this scale. I've been very fortunate to have it on this scale. We go in here like, a restaurant. Okay. Everybody thinks, okay, I got extra food, I can give it away. No, that's not your strategic advantage. Your strategic advantage is you buy at wholesale and the people are buying at grocery levels. There's a 40% spread there. Wholesale things to give away, not retail. Oh, you can give away your leftovers too. It's great. Like people like Panera do that and stuff. That's great.
Yeah.
But everybody has a skill set. If you didn't have a skill set, you wouldn't be making a living. What can you do with that skill set? What can you do with that passion? There's always more you can do. And you can do it comfortably, it doesn't have to be a sacrifice. And the joy and you talk about community, we're in a community. We're the greenest product on the planet. We wipe out half the fossil fuel used to boil water around the world.
That's
I mean,
amazing.
nobody, I mean, we've calculated we save 200 trees a year
Wow.
per filter or fossil fuel, propane or whatever. That's how much they use to boil water just to drink. We had one village we went into, and it was an orphanage. We do a lot of those too. And we went in there, and she says, "I got to show you something. There's a great big cauldron over here with a fire pit underneath it, and a great big cauldron over here with a fire pit underneath it." And you say, "You see those? We don't use them anymore. We used to have to boil that much water every day. This was for drinking, and this was for cooking. We don't need it. We got one filter, took away the need for all that and all that burning." We're in a village, fishing village in Christmas Island, famous, best fish, some of the best fishing in the world. They have to buy 30, they have no natural water. They're so low, they have to collect rainwater is all they get,
Oh,
which is,
wow.
which we can do that. They buy each village, so those two villages, each camp buys 38,000 bottles of water a year for the people. And they still get sick, and it's $1 a piece. And they have to burn the bottles because they have no trash place. So afterwards, they have to burn the bottles and put all the pollutants up in the
Mm,
air. One filter, one filter in each camp saved them $38,000 a year and 38,000 plastic bottles to be burned up. That's amazing what this thing does.
yeah. You are an amazing individual, Kurt.
Nah, it's a lot of people too. It's not me. I didn't invent. I'm just the marketer. A lot of stuff.
But you do a really great job at marketing. No, I love that you're very picky about the team of people that you have, the people that you work with, the way that you serve the community, choosing to stay private, having your foundation on your company to make sure that even in the future, your legacy continues to be the way that you want it to. That is, um, That is phenomenal to be able to be in that space.
Not my legacy, it's Sawyer's legacy. I'm just
I
an
like
old
it.
cookie more. There is so much more behind this. I barely, oh, I do understand it because I have a science background, but I didn't invent this thing. I have an engineer that did, and a lot of
Hmm.
engineers. So I tell what built this thing was I told my kids, you have one asset in life, don't ever give it up, and that's your integrity. You can't get it back when you're giving it up. But because we have the integrity at Sawyer, people bring us ideas. They come to us. They say, I got the, a lot of them aren't worth it, but they are. I got a new repellent coming out. It's going to blow the world away. So we didn't invent it, but people wanted, they wanted our integrity. They wanted to latch on to
Hmm.
the name Sawyer. So that's how this all comes about. So it is a lot more than just me. Trust me. It's the whole Sawyer brand, Sawyer entity.
I love that. Kurt, where can everybody find you guys?
Well, as far as retail products, where if there's a camping store, small one, big one, whatever, we're going to be there. Obviously, Amazon, we're huge on Amazon. Walmart.com more than the stores. We don't let all our products in the Walmart stores because we're keeping the higher level. We have to explain our products for you to understand them. So we tend to go to the places that will talk you through the technology. Um, we're a little techy. Even our repellents are kind of techy. Um, so Sawyer.com, you can always do there. Um, every time you buy something, there's going to be money left over to go overseas. We just literally, we use the phrase give away 90% of our profits. We actually give away a lot more than that because we don't let things become profits. I mean, we give it away, we take the loss. I mean, I make enough profit to keep the bank happy. I'm fine. No U-Hauls in heaven. I don't need more things. So why not give it away? So we give away a lot. But right now to the magnitude, we're going to help other people give away a lot because we have the tools and Sawyer Foundation. Well, you can go to Sawyer.com and they can link you to the foundation. You can watch the stories, bring a tissue if you want.
Absolutely.
But you can join us in changing the world because that's where it's going. I can't stop now. These are just way too important.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate your time today, Kurt, and all of your information. And truly, I am in awe of what you guys are doing and what your company is doing and the difference that it's making in the world. So thank you for that. And thank you for sharing your message today.
Yeah. Well, don't say we're having fun too. So it's pretty cool to go in and do this. It's really cool to see the lives change. So thank you for giving us the forum.
Absolutely. Absolutely. To everybody else that's out there, we will make sure that all of that information is in the show notes. We will make it super easy for you to connect with Sawyer Products. We'll have the website, we'll have the information to the foundation as well in case you'd like to donate or get involved. As Kurt said, go out and volunteer. For the relief programs and things that they are running. They're doing some amazing things. I'm all about putting my money back into companies that are giving back as well. So I will be checking out Sawyer Products because I love to go hiking. But thank you, Kurt, again, for being a part of the podcast today, for sharing all the things that you did. To everybody else that's out there, I hope that this gives you a sense of life can suck and there are other people that are dealing with things that we have never had to even think about. And that is a privilege that we have been blessed with. And I do believe in strongly deciding to give back in a way that we can, in a way that suits us, in a way that, as Kurt said, is within your integrity. I love that. So I hope that you guys took something from this. And until next time, do one thing positive each and every day and see the difference that it makes in your life. We'll catch you later.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Real Chat with Kat today, where real stories meet real solutions. If you loved today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, leave us a review on Apple, and share this with someone who may also need to hear this as well. Let's also keep the conversation going. Follow me on socials at The Lotus Effect, connect with our incredible guests, and remember, you are never alone. Your story matters, and you have the ability and the power to rewrite it. You always have a choice. Until next time, stay strong, stay inspired, and keep showing up as the incredible, unstoppable